Hey everybody, welcome back to 14 Rings and NFC East podcast. I'm your host Luke Wilson with Mal and JT. No Maurice tonight. He is under the weather. We wish you nothing but the best, my brother. Get well soon. Eat some chicken noodle soup with a soda on the side. That being said, let's go ahead and get into our Week 8 preseason previews, predictions that we did during the preseason. We have about 3 games here, so let's start with Week 8. We got the Commanders up first. Everybody had them losing except one person, and it was not me. Who was that person?
Earl.
Yeah, it was Earl, actually. Earl, I appreciate the belief, but the belief
confidence.
it just wasn't happening.
Must have been sick that day.
All right. So, Cowboys, Week 8. We all had them losing except for one person, but it was not Earl. Yes,
Was it
you
me?
had them. It was actually Maurice.
Okay.
And for the Giants, yes, you did.
Oh, I guess I foresaw the future.
And for Week 8, clean sweep for the Eagles. And this one, I think in the preseason that was a fair prediction at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was the get back.
Yeah, but that's
like
enough
this.
of that. Anyway, that but we're gonna get into it now. And usually we have Maurice talk about it too. Mal's just gonna take it over. We might chime in here and there, but nothing too bad. Go ahead, Mal.
Yeah, so I'm going to be holding it down the whole game today, guys, because Maurice is not here, but that's okay. I'm going to start with Philly first because winners go first. So Giants played Philly at 1 o'clock this past Sunday at Lincoln Financial Field. Unlike last matchup, Philly won this one 38-20. We split the series 1-1 with the Eagles, which is good for, I'm hoping the Giants can start getting better divisionally, so I'll take that for what it is. Now with Philly, this was probably their most complete game that they've played. Jalen Hurts looked good. Saquon Barkley looked good. He went for 2 touchdowns, one of them being a 65-yard run on their opening drive. So they had a nice start there. However, Giants started to play a little hard in that first half to try and come back, but we had a really bad situation happen, which I'll get into more when I speak about the Giants. Now, when I say that Philly had a complete game, they just synced up on all levels. Coaching, defense, offense, everything on both sides looked good. Maurice would probably be happy because this was the first time I've actually seen the Eagles have 4 really good quarters of offensive football. So, is what it is. Go ahead.
I got a quick question. Do you think the absence of A.J. Brown affected the chemistry in a positive aspect for the Eagles in this game?
I don't think that was an effect at all. I think that Jalen just, used what he had. He used Goddard. I think who had a touchdown or 2. He might have had 2.
Goddard had 2, yes.
Goddard had 2 touchdowns, and Devonta Smith was involved. So the receiving room was fine. I mean, from my level of watching the game, the Eagles offense looked pretty good this game. 38 points is nothing to, diminish in any way, shape, or form. I think that in the first quarter, they probably struggled the most, but that was really it, and they didn't even really struggle that much. I mean, the Giants defense made it look easy, and when I get into the Giants, I'll explain why I think that happened. I mean, because I'm not going to diminish the fact that the Eagles played well. They played a really good game. We haven't won in the Link, I believe, since 2013. So if I'm going player of the game for the Eagles, I'd probably give it to Saquon Barkley. He, looked really good this game. Looked like old Saquon form. He did get a slight hamstring injury that took him out, but they were also leading by a lot, so I wouldn't foresee that being anything serious. I don't think there were any other major injuries on their side. What do you think, Earl? Did you see any?
I'm sorry, I had a little issue on
No, it's okay.
my side. Could you repeat the question? I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Did you notice any major injuries for the Eagles besides Saquon's hamstring injury?
Not from what I saw.
No, okay.
Definitely know I saw some stuff on the Giants side, but yeah, I think the Eagles, they have enough pieces that can kind of execute if someone does go down. The only thing is, we also know that the offensive line and whatnot, it really hasn't been the best for them. But also seeing Saquon have an injury like that, he just really hasn't been himself. Maybe it might have been some with the Madden cover, but that's for another time.
Yeah, that's for another time. Getting into the Giants now.
Well, hang on.
Go ahead.
Before you go, I just wanted to add two things. One, this is another example of with Jalen Hurts, less is more. Only 20 passing attempts. That's kind of where you want Jalen, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to do him too much. And besides Saquon, you had another 100-yard rusher, which I think was a it hadn't happened in a long time in the same game for one team.
Tank Bigsby, yeah.
And Tank Bigsby, I think he's underrated because honestly, back in Jacksonville, I thought he was going to supplant Travis Etienne. To be honest, like he's that good. Honestly, I'm surprised they're not utilizing him more. But maybe I can ask Maurice about that next week.
Well, it's more of a hammer base. So Bigsby is more of a hammer while having some elusive tendencies, but he's under the physical brand of ball, while Saquon's the elusive guy. So
I know, he's just such a he's a hammer, but he's a fast guy. Like, I mean, only 9 rushes to get to 104 yards. His longest one only being 29 yards. That's not like a home run hit.
You don't have to. If you show a physical brand of football, get the yards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. I'm just saying, like, even if Saquon's out for a while, I don't know yet, but Tank and Will Shipley will probably be more than enough.
I promise you, depending on what they do, if Saquon does miss games, you're going to have to figure out who fit the Saquon role while being the RB.
Who's the veteran that they have on the team?
AJ Dillon, I think.
Yeah, AJ. AJ, yeah.
Like he's another big back, but he can run. Like they just they have one of those like physical ground and pound type of running backs, which you should have. I mean, they have 2 or 3 of them. So in case Saquon does go down, you shift from a losing game to a physical game.
Well, they have a bye next week, so at least they don't have to worry about it too much.
Yeah,
that he can take some time.
Yeah. All right, let's get to the horrificy that happened to you guys. Catastrophe.
Yeah. So let's just say that this is where I think the game really kind of shifted. So 2 things. In the beginning, the Giants offense responded to Saquon's 65-yard run with a great drive by Dart and Scadaboo. Now, next defensive drive, Eagles tush push and fumble the ball, but it was not called a fumble.
That was one of the biggest blown calls that I have seen in a long time.
Yeah, and so
it's been like that all season. Hopefully they nip it in the bud for real.
So I think, and even Maurice will say this, him and I were talking about it on X during the game. This was one of the most poorly officiated games I have seen in a while.
Yeah.
Lots of missed calls, lots of opportunities, but this one in particular completely changed the momentum of the game.
Oh, yeah.
So this one, would have been a fumble. They wind up scoring. Saquon Barkley winds up scoring his 2nd touchdown. Next drive, Cam Scadaboo gets tackled by Zach Bond and snaps his ankle in half. Horrific sight to see live. You knew it immediately when you saw that bend. This was gut-wrenching. Gut-wrenching in every aspect. He was our rookie that was having a really, really, really good season. Was in talks for Offensive Rookie of the Year with Jackson Dart.
He was y'all juice.
Complete culture changer. You can tell that this Giants team was immediately deflated after that injury happened. It's like they gave up. It really is like they gave up. I think the mentality of the guys, and I think that speaks volumes to Cam on his influence in the locker room. You said it early on when we had drafted it, Lucas. He just completely changed the culture of the Giants. Lifted them up, wanted guys to win. That's Dart's boy. Dart, his first starting game, lost Malik Neighbors to a torn ACL, and then 4 weeks later watches Cam Scadaboo dislocate, compound fracture his ankle.
Mm-hmm.
Good news is, though, with Cam update, he did have a successful surgery. The city of Philadelphia, I am forever grateful to you, the fans who gave him a standing ovation, even to Big Dom, who stopped by and dropped him off some cheesesteaks and pizza. Honestly, they showed Cam love. I'll always remember that. So, you guys, that was really great. So, I think in the end, well, obviously, Scottaboo's going to be out for the season. More to come on his recovery and rehab to see when he's ready next year.
I think they said that if everything goes smoothly, he'll be available for week 1 next year.
Yes, but, things change. Look what happened to Alex Smith. So, we have to,
that's not the same type of injury. For your guys' sake, that's a good thing.
No, absolutely. However, the risk of infection with the type of fracture like that, you have to pay attention to and make sure that it goes into. Go ahead, Earl.
Dak's brain fracture.
Yes, Dak too. Mm-hmm. So Dak did have a compound fracture.
So I've seen a few horrific injuries during my time as a sports fan.
Joe Theismann being one of them.
Joe Theismann, yep, Alex Smith. But I'm going outside of just the realm of football, obviously, too. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go to basketball here. The only injury that I have seen worse than that one is the Sean Livingston injury. If you know, you know.
You know.
And if you don't know, then you need to go Google it. But viewer discretion advised. That being said, I mean, I've seen some bad breaks. Paul George during the Olympics, Gordon Hayward when he first got to Boston, both lower leg injury breaks. But this was rough. And like you said, he's the heart and soul of your team, and him and Dart were probably going to be the reason why your head coach keeps his job. But now that's depending on how they bounce back, and you still have Dart, who is very much a leader in the locker room. Let's be clear. But your running back room has lost its edge. Tyrone Tracy has looked like a shell of his former self from his rookie year. I don't know what's going on with him.
He's also been out for a few weeks with a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah, and then Devin Singletary is washed. Let's go. Darius Miller, the guy that you talked about, I hope he gets some run. It's Darius
He might
Miller.
have to.
I hope so.
He might have to. So we'll see what happens with that. But I think that this week, Giants fans have just been, kind of an understanding of this is the way that our season's going. Played with injuries. I will say, though, Brian Burns continues to look stellar. He had another 2 sacks this game, so he's tied for the most with Myles Garrett. He's a bright spot on this team. Honestly, I'll talk more about what I think of the future when I talk about my preview against the 49ers this week. But in all aspects, in conclusion, player of the game, I'm giving it to Graham Gano. Gano.
Yeah,
because he came back and he was reliable. And I know that sounds crazy, but we haven't had a reliable kicker, and he showed up and he did what he had to do. So I'm giving it to Graham Gano. Eagles dominated this one. Not much more to say. Questions, comments, concerns. Go ahead, Earl.
I'll be quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eagles got their get back. I understand. One thing I keep seeing and just kind of sick of seeing it is where a player's ligament always gets torn over somebody like riding on the back of a player. My question is, what in the world were you thinking Zach Bond being on Cam's back at the time of the play? Like, the play had already done. You didn't have to ride him on his back and then hip drop down. I look at that as a hip drop tackle. Now, I know some people like, oh, it's a bang for bang play. I get that. I understand being a linebacker. I played the position. There's ways that you can tackle. If you get beat, you get beat. You can wrap him, that's fine. But when you ride on the dude's back, injuries like that occur. Now, that type of injury, I seen my boy Dak get a compound fracture in his leg. He tried to pop it back into place, but at that point, the damage was done. In college, Cadillac Williams, a play where he hit the gap, boom, leg turned the other way. He was gone for the season. Wasn't the same. I just glad that Scatterboo got a successful surgery. Shout out to the Philadelphia area for being able to make sure he was comfortable and whatnot for that. That's real. But at the same time, you're not supposed to do anything like that. Now, it may not seem like it's a thing of it, but if you go back and look at it, Bond could have held up. even that point blank. Like, I don't know. It's a shame he got hurt.
It's a shame that he got hurt, but I will play devil's advocate for Bond for 1 second. Do you know how many people that Cam Scatterboot trucked in the NFC East so far? You got to follow through on your tackles on that. Now,
But
maybe he did.
There's a difference again coming up head to head. This dude rolled his back and then hip drop.
The hip drop, obviously, nobody likes hip drop tackles.
In his hands.
I know that because my team's quarterback got hip drop.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels got hurt from getting hip dropped. And here's the thing, like in the end, hindsight's 2020 on how it happened. However, it was the way he freak landed, snapped his ankle in half. I just think he is one tough kid, man. He tried to walk that off. He wanted to try and walk that off.
Yeah, he did.
Nah, man, there was nothing attached. It was dangling like it was.
And he was in good spirits, and he's in good spirits, so I wish him well in his recovery. I can't wait to see him back again. I'm heartbroken that I don't get to see him play another football game this year, but want him to get well. Cordell Flock got shaken up a little bit by Bobby Okereke, but he's okay. He's all good. He went back into the game. All I'm going to say is, in conclusion, Deonte Banks is so bad. I need him off my football team, and I need Paulson Adebo back like expeditiously.
You know, we proposed a trade last week for you to get some secondary help, and you called me out on Twitter.
Well,
I just want to know if you need that much bad help in the secondary. Why not trade one of your plethora of edge rushers?
No,
it's the money. No. It's the money.
Yeah. Also, I'd rather keep my young guys that I stacked on the D line and figure it out next year. At this point, it's a lost season. We're 2-6.
Yeah.
And we keep dropping like flies. So you know what? I'm not.
Look, your team's not the only team that's struggling with health. I'll say that for sure.
No, for real.
Mm-hmm. The struggle is real.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Anybody else got anything to say before we move on to Earl?
No.
Okay, go ahead, Earl.
I'm gonna go ahead and speak that piece.
Okay.
Overall, I've seen progression with the Giants, and when the right pieces are there, you can definitely compete. And nothing thrilled me more to see y'all beat the Eagles the first game. Like that one I kind of foresaw. But at the same time, I think y'all got something brewing. I think maybe one or two coaches changes and stuff. One on defense and then one on the offensive side. But other than that, y'all doing what you can.
Oh, and by the way, trade deadline's coming up. I did hear that Evan Neal is on the block for you guys.
Good. If I can get a cheeseburger from McDonald's, I'll take that.
I didn't hear Tibbs, but totally possible. Okay.
More to come.
More to come. Anyway, JT, it is your turn.
I'm going to mute myself and let Earl pop off.
I don't even... I don't know. We'll see
and just to let you guys know, he told us beforehand this is going to be the condensed version. So I'm curious to see how this goes.
Well, we're at the almost 19-minute mark, so we'll see what happens when Earl digresses.
Oh, all right, we are. Okay. Alrighty. Alrighty. And this is directly to Cowboys Nation and those who are watching. Earl has went on and took on a break. So JT's in the helm here. We're in the JT Wolf purgatory. So for this, Dallas Cowboys, they lost 44-24. Score sounds reminiscent from last week, while we had the 44 on the other side. This time around, team just falls on a derail, get mud slapped, bulldozed, beat down, taken behind the woodshed and mile high. It was ridiculous. This game, from what I saw my team was mere mortal of their self. We're basically a team that pretty much could have stacked with the other team. One team showed up, cracked the code, and started playing chess, not checkers. I'm not sure what's going on. You know what? Scratch that. Want that. I know exactly what's going on with this team. I'm seeing a lack of preparation and incompetence of my defensive coordinator, which is hurting my defense. A strong suit on what position I play, but definitely makes a laughingstock of the position as a whole. Now, there's other people in opposition on defense that's watching this game and seeing how this defense plays. And they're like, it's enough to make you feel sick to the stomach on the way how things are orchestrated on the defense. Shout out to Acho explaining what the Broncos did to the Cowboys, especially on that defense. And it was just completely out schemed. Yeah, you could play man, but they cracked the code of man. There was nothing you could do. And maybe, just maybe, the players that you should have there, you decided to not play to prove a point. And that brings to the media people and the content creators who push this narrative. My biggest thing with the Cowboys is that there's media people that constantly talk negative towards the Dallas Cowboys. It's to the point now that it's really affecting the decision-making of the team as a whole. We have a player put on IR for technically no reason, just because the man wanted to make sure his body was healthy coming back from a significant knee injury. If you know, you know. Diggs was put on IR right before the game against the Broncos. Very suspicious. I've seen things like this with Jordan Phillips over a wrist injury. A wrist injury? No. It's to the point now that they want to be proven right by their ego to sit a guy and like, hey, we can right this ship without this person. You couldn't do it. The defense was just brutal. Let me get to this game real quick. What went bad? Got some pointers. Lack of effort. From what I saw from my defense, the effort was not there. There was no heart. And the more and more I look at it, it shows that Dallas isn't a great defense. And I'll explain what a great defense is. Scheme was solved. Yeah, man was a thing that occurred in this game. You really couldn't do anything because you were so far behind. Yeah, you want to run a zone. Bo Nix, he struggled with zones. But that doesn't mean you got the right guys to play a zone against this. Sean Payton is a very smart coach. He understands what needs to be done. If he knows that you're going to play man, he's like, okay, how true of a man the man defense are you? You know, I'm going to pick on it. I'm going to solve it. And it was orchestrated to keep man on defense off the rails for the Cowboys. And I saw one rookie, RJ Harvey, go a century mark over 100 yards. I think he pulled a hat trick. My bad. Dobbins went over the century mark. He had 15 carries, 111 yards. He averaged around 7.4 yards a clip. RJ Harvey, he ran the ball 7 times, 46 yards, 6 yards a clip, and 2 touchdowns. He was a guy that I was looking for Dallas in the running back hunt. Dude executed what I thought he was going to execute this season. It seemed the last 4 players averaged around 6 yards a clip. That means that they hardly were running up the middle, but they were gashing on the outside. What it was a true testament was, it was a testament to how my corners was going to tackle Kyler Elam. Yeah, get off the field, man. Kyler Elam easily could have stopped a 40-yard touchdown. Didn't even make an attempt to tackle the guy. And you may be like, oh, this is a business decision. Nah, when you play corner, you go out there to play. If you're the last guy to make the tackle, make the tackle. You're just going to let the guy go by. They attacked this man all game. Kyler Elam, you thinking you're going to get another contract? Not by Dallas, bro. Get off the field. Another player. Let's see here. Chikwueze Bridges. Yeah, I talked about him last week.
I'm sorry, what's his name?
Trick Daddy. No, it's Chikwueze. Chikwueze or Chikwueze, whatever it is.
That is a name. Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm just gonna call him Bridges. Bridges, you thought everybody was like, yo, Bridges he's a top corner. Yeah, he did his thing last week. You know the receivers he was guarding. Robbie Chosen and Luke McCaffrey. Come on, you're not all world beat. Hey,
I mean, you're not wrong. But like, why you gotta call me out like that? Why you gotta call me out like that?
It wasn't even for you, Lucas. This is for these people that's like, yo, Bridges is better than Diggs this. He's better than Diggs that and everything. Cowboys Nation. Why do we work to be bad on purpose? I'll never understand that. I'll never understand why you want to punish your star players. What did they do? It shows you cuddle over your feelings. And I'm like, this is a league, NFL league. It's not about your feelings. You should go out there. You should allow your guys to play football. Go out there, get wins. Go out there to try to compete for championships. You want to try to be a corporate Cowboys? Whatever it is because your feelings hurt? No. No, I don't want you to be a fan of the Cowboys. I really want you to relinquish your star. Because you're bringing a false narrative to the Cowboys. I'm here to bring content to try to help my team be better. To steer the ship. To execute what I need to do to make sure that Cowboys are doing what they're supposed to. But yet you're constantly putting in a narrative that, oh, these players here are better than the initial stars. I saw one of by far the most generational talent guys go to the opposition for 2 first-round picks and a player that's nearly hitting 10 years. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that. I didn't want to see number 11 go. Apparently y'all did. And I can never see the reason why. Who knows? Maybe just maybe if 11 was there, maybe just maybe they could have wrote the ship. Maybe the pressure, he didn't have any sacks in this game defense. Like, Knicks was clean. And I'm just like, make it make sense. See, the trade scenarios are happening because you guys can't get your job done. All these 1-year deals and everything from there, come on now. It makes no sense. You're out there you're busy pity-patting the edges. The edges, there's a reason why they're trying to trade for somebody. Because you can't get the job done. It makes no sense. Linebackers, I'm disappointed in y'all. Gap integrity, where's that? But also the front, Osa. You got the money, dog. Mozzie. I don't even know what they're doing with you, man. They might as well just put you on the bench. For some reason, you really didn't fully address it. Kenny Clark, he's doing what he can. But maybe, just maybe, if you fully took it seriously, maybe some guys that are not on this team will still be here. You lose a Tank, he's in Seattle balling out. Secondary, you lose J. Lou, he's in Jacksonville. People thought that was a funny thing. This dude is legit balling out in Jacksonville. You really should understand, like, okay, the guys you did have to contribute, you're trying to move on, but they're your veterans to help the young guys, at least with the disciplinary actions. I'm going to finish up on this defense. Basically, what makes a great defense. Yeah, I wrote this down. Fundamentally, the lack of preparation for the Cowboys. In order to be a great defense, you have to work on being not a weak-minded group. 1, shout out to Coach Marv on this one. 1, physical. 2, fast. You're neither one of those. 3, mentally tough. When you get punched in the mouth, are you going to come back to punch them right back in the mouth? You respond right back after being hit in the mouth. 4, being smart. We have dumb IQ players on defense. And 5, play as a team. You're not playing as a team. In order to achieve greatness on the defense side of the ball, you have to execute physical, fast, mentally tough, smart, and play as a team. My defense isn't doing that. They're not playing as a team. And the more and more I'm looking at it, how can you help your team orchestrate 3 straight wins? For all I know, in order to achieve a Super Bowl, you got to at least accumulate 3 straight wins in order to make that happen. We haven't achieved that. So how can we be great? It's a shame. You're going to have to shake up some things in the defensive room, and that starts with the coaches. Flus, gotta go. The passing game coordinator, gotta go. Hashtag flush Flus. Get him out of here. You got 1 game before you go into the bye week. I expect a change. You act like, oh, they won't make a change. They've done it before. Look at your team's history. They make a change. They go through. They can go on a run. We need it. If you really about this, you got to get this defensive coordinator out. But hire within. Don't look out there. Maybe in the offseason, you find that guy. But in-house, Aaron Whitecotton should be promoted to defensive coordinator, and Nick Sorsen should be the passing game coordinator. Get whatever Chicago Bears staff that was in there, get them out of here. I understand why Flukes got fired. I'm seeing it on the defense. They got to make a change, but be smart about the change and resolve it in-house. I'm going to shift to what is good. You know what? My bad. I'm going to go ahead and talk about this offense. Shoddy, there's blame to go around. I will point one finger, but I'm going to point on all y'all. All y'all deserve this loss. It's inexcusable. Why would you punt when you feel like you got a momentum going? At your 44 and you know how your defense is? Come on now. You got to go for it. 4th and 2. I need to see some fight. If you really were about this game, where's the fight? Dude, like, you know what's going on with your defense. You're telling me you're not going to continue to fight to execute? I don't expect my offense to be perfect. But if I know my defense is just trash, you have no choice but to be perfect. I want my team balanced. The high scores, if it happens with the offense being balanced. I knew you weren't going to score 40 points in this game, especially with this defense with Denver. And then another thing, you're a number 1 ranked offense. You go up against the number 1 ranked defense in Denver. I just found out about that late. And you're telling me you have a chance to win with their star defensive player of the year PS2 out? So you're telling me you're not going to play find the scrub with Pickens or Lamb? You could have easily aired out this ball, but you chose not to? No, I'm looking at you funny in the light, Shoddy. I understand, yeah, we're allowing you to do your thing, but you got to be better at play calling with that. It was inexcusable where we felt we could have been back in this game when the star defensive player was out. But you're telling me you're not going to attack the weakness? Nah, I don't agree with that. CeeDee Lamb, he's hurt. But you're telling me you're not going to go with the hot hand of Pickens? Nah, no answer you can give me that will tell me that you aren't going to go to the hot hand. It's almost like basketball. Like you're telling me you're not going to get the ball in your star player's hands? Like he's on fire. And you're not going to execute to get him the ball? Inexcusable. What went good in this game? George Pickens, he was out there fighting. Now that's a dog I would want in a fight, especially when the game is ugly. And y'all may look at me sideways with this, but I'll take Pickens over Lamb going in a fight like this because I at least see the dog in Pickens. I didn't see it in CD.
Hold up. You just dropped a bomb there. We gotta talk about it, JT.
No, we don't.
You just said that you'd rather have George over CD.
In a fight like this?
That's crazy.
I stand 10 toes on it. The reason why I say that is just there's more that you can go to with being a top receiver. There's more that you can execute. My biggest thing is I'm looking at Shoddy where it's like, okay, you're telling me you're not going to use the hot hand. Now, yeah, things got ugly. But Pickens was out there acting a fool. This dude was making catches. He was still fighting. I can see that on the field.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather take a guy that when I know is ugly and the guy is out there fighting, regardless of what happens, that's my dog. I'm always going to represent that guy. CD got to show me. He's got to show me. Yeah, I understand. He's number 1. But if you got a guy in here that's competing and out there, not anything handed to you, but going out there, having a positive mindset, going out there, showing that, yo, these are my brothers, I'm fighting. I need to see that. I didn't see that in CD. He's hurt. And that's okay. But at the same time, I need to see a guy out there fighting. I don't see Jalen Tolbert doing this. I don't see Ryan Flournoy doing this. Pickens out there was legitimately fighting. And I stand on it. Yeah. He's not getting enough touches that he should. CeeDee Lamb is hurt, and he's getting more touches than Pickens, who's healthy. Make it make sense, Mal. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
And
You're
then
right. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna take a shot on. It's like, whoa, you're taking a shot at CD. No, I'm looking at what I'm seeing on the field. If he's not playing up the par, you get the guy who has the hot hand.
Right.
And the messed up thing is, you're really not trying to accept Pickens' worth.
Mm-hmm.
Fans want Pickens signed. I believe on it. You better do it. Because if you think you're going to go in with another thing where you could have easily paid this player and you decide to get rid of him for no reason, I'm sick of the ego. I'm here to make sure this team is orchestrated to be the best fit to win.
Yeah.
I'm putting my ego aside. Can you? And Cowboys Nation, I'm talking to you. This content, many content creators are trying to fight this fight that I'm fighting. And I'm doing whatever I can to make sure that they're doing what they're doing. I'm team aggressive. I'm team Cowboys. Like, I don't need to have a player that's a name or whatnot that if he's not playing up the par, I'm going to call him out on it.
Yeah.
I want what's best fit for the Cowboys. If you're not given
That's
that
fair.
opportunity, then you're wrong. And that's not the narrative. And yeah, Lucas, I stand on Pickens on this over Lamb. Case closed.
Is Pickens the better wide receiver between the two of them?
Right now, yes.
Right now. So it's fluid.
It's fluid.
It's the best player on the field who makes the immediate impact. Who's going to be the decoy? And the more and more I'm looking at it, if I know that Pickens is lined up on someone that isn't a name, I say that's disrespectful. So you're telling me you're not going to put your best guy on him? You got Pickens tripping. And you could have easily manipulated this corner on the Broncos. Dak should have had more yards than just 188 yards and 2 interceptions. Dak, I'm disappointed in you, dude. Some things you're trying to force the ball, trying to get Ferguson involved. If he couldn't separate, you go to the next guy who has a better opportunity. Some of those interceptions, inexcusable. And hey, you have bad game, but at least know and sure that the whole MVP setup for you is done. Now you can focus on football. Focus on that. Go for something bigger. But yeah, another thing that was good, I'm glad Javonte Williams got his 2 touchdowns because he was the only one that was orchestrating what needed to be done. But he needs help. Dak was your second leading rusher in this game, which is sad. He had 31 yards. Javonte Williams had 41 yards on the 13 attempts and 2 touchdowns. Javonte Williams is my player of the game, but Javonte Williams needs help. He cannot do this by himself. And Jerry, you know what you're doing, and it's not right. Stephen Jones, you know exactly what you're doing. You know what to do to make this team better. You're pretty much trying to prove your ego to be right. This NFL draft was abysmal because you wanted to be right. And right now, fans, we don't like it. Some fans, they gonna cater to you because they're weird like that. But the real Cowboy fans know what you're doing. Make the change. Make the change on defense. I digress. And also, Shavon Ravel supposed to be debuting, and if you expect him to be better than Diggs, you're sadly mistaken. This dude gonna be coming out here with a RoboCop knee brace. Make it make sense. I digress.
All right. Well, let's get to the last game. We all, outside of Earl, JT, we all had the Commanders losing this game. Even I did. Assuming health.
Wait, I had them winning?
Yeah, you did.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, what was I thinking?
I don't know. Anyway, so, but look, it's even with Jaden Daniels, this was going to be a tough game. Kansas City, they're a powerhouse. We all know this, okay? Even though they had a rough start to the season, we know who they are. We know who's leading that team, okay? And despite that, there's no moral victories in football, but I do want to note the good first before I get to the bad, because there's not a lot of good, but let me note it, okay? First off, you held this team to a tie at the halftime, 7-7. The defense showed up in the first half. Playing man-to-man coverage. Shout out to Marshawn Lattimore. I've been giving him crap all season. He showed up. He got a pick against one of the best quarterback in the NFL, and one of arguably the best of all time. Depending on who you talk to, still probably Tom Brady for now, but who knows, right? And also Bobby Wagner. I've been giving you crap about coverage. You did what you needed to do. You got a tip ball. Good for you. Got to see the young guys finally. Got to see more of Jordan McGee, Jalen Holmes, Tyler Owens. These guys needed to get some burn, and they, Jordan McGee maybe had one or two coverage fails, and he's a young guy, and we knew that there was a reason why he wasn't playing too much. Now we know why he's not great in coverage at this point, but he's only going to learn if he's not going to learn unless he actually gets game reps, right? So there's that. Darnell Savage had some good plays, some bad plays. Trey Amos. Shout out to Trey Amos. Guy's he's our best corner already. And you can't throw against him. Just don't do it. He's gonna bat it down, okay? Outside of that, there actually I really have too much outside of that. I mean, Terry was okay. Terry got a touchdown. Terry still looks like he's coming back. He's not fully there yet.
You think that was a touchdown?
Yeah, I think it was.
I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We finally got to see a little bit more Ben Sinnott too. We need to see more of our tight ends. Look, I like Zach Ertz, but Zach Ertz is getting up there, getting long in the tooth. Need to start getting these young guys some more run, okay? That being said, the bad. First off, shame on you, Joe Witt Jr. We started out in man coverage. It was working. And then after halftime, what do? You come out in zone. This is the worst quarterback to go against zone against. Come on, dude. Come on. This is Patrick Mahomes. You make their wide receivers beat you. They were not doing that. We were getting turnovers, okay? You cannot play zone against Patrick Mahomes. The only way that works is if you have an elite pass rush, and I promise you right now, the Commanders do not have that. So, the shame on you, Joe Witt Jr. You know better. Marcus Mariota. I can't even say this was a terrible game. One of the interceptions was Debo's fault, right? Literally just Debo was looking down the field before he caught the pass.
Popped it right up.
Popped it right up. That's not really on him. Him and Patrick Mahomes have the same QBR. He got sacked one less time for less yards. Yards wise, yeah, he has a little less yards, but he had a little less completions too, attempts too. But really, it's the touchdowns, right? And Patrick Mahomes, we know who he's throwing to. He actually has some weapons now that everybody's healthy. You still got Travis Kelce, you got Rasheed Rice, you got Xavier Worthy, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Hollywood Brown, who only got one target, but I can't even be mad at Marcus here because I don't know. I think Jaden would have done better, but do we still win the game if Jaden's here? Probably not. The defense just blew this game, and that's the problem. We need to do better on defense. The young guys need to. I think at this point in the season, you focus on the young guys. You focus on developing these young guys. If you win games, awesome. I'm not rushing Jaden back until he's 100%. Knee, hamstring, everything. You get these young guys some run. Speaking of the young guys, I got to call out a young guy. JCM, where you been the last couple weeks? I haven't seen you. What's going on with you? Now, I think that part of this is scheme-wise, too. I think part of this is scheme, right? Because they barely ever have Ja'Cory down on a passing down, right? So if he's in the game, you almost know for certain he's going to run it, right? Also, I get that the pistol formation has its benefits, but if you run it too much, it's not going to work. And that's part of the problem here, too. I know that, Cliff, you don't like doing I formations. You don't like, under center stuff, but occasionally, it might be helpful, right? Also, Jeremy McNichols needs more touches. He had 5 catches for 64 yards. Why does he only have 5 catches? Why does he only have 1 rushing attempt? I'm not saying that Jeremy McNichols is better than JCM. I'm not saying that as a back, totally. But the guy deserves more than 1 touch. Marcus Mariota was our lead rusher with 8 attempts and 28 yards. Our running game, I hate to say this, but Adam Peters, I think you fumbled here a little bit. I don't think, and I get you didn't want to pay Brian Robinson, but a 6th-round pick is not worth us having a compromised running game, which is what this is. Now, granted, part of this is Austin Eckler being out too for the season. Let's be clear. Losing Austin was a big hurt for us. But this is not looking good, guys. The running game is suffering, which puts our quarterbacks into more compromising situations. Outside of that, I mean, look, the young guys played great. I just thought of something. Outside of the Eagles, who are first in the division, everybody else in this division has a strong argument that their defensive coordinator might need to be fired after this season. Joe Witt Jr., bye-bye. Shane Bowen, bye-bye. Matt Eberflus, bye-bye.
Flush him.
So.
Flush him.
Are you taking receipts right now?
Of course.
Why does everything got to be receipts?
Because
Notes.
You're writing down.
Notes.
I'm checking my notes.
Okay.
Don't you?
I don't usually write notes
You're
too
cooking.
much.
I'm listening to you.
Okay, well, I appreciate
You messing yourself up. Finish up.
Okay, well, actually, I'm pretty much done here.
Can I go next?
Yeah. What do you want to add?
Okay, yeah. And you said I was the one that expected Washington to win this game?
Yeah.
Huh, I saw something. Okay. Basically, if you paid attention, Quinn was ramping up for this game, and I started seeing some of that under full display, where I actually believe you could have probably won this game.
We could have.
I thought you could have too.
If you would have stuck to what you were doing. You saw the young players that took a shot, and this is in the bright lights too.
Mm-hmm.
And they were playing very well.
Mm-hmm.
But the last time I saw the game, I had to go back and watch the game, but I went to sleep. It was 7-7 going into halftime.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, okay, there was a common game plan. What occurred in the second half was generated 21 points.
Mm-hmm.
As you say, cover two. Cover two was the biggest thing. But even at that point, you had them bottled up. I'm trying to figure out what the change occurred from there. And when they started heating up, they got heated up.
Mm-hmm.
You could say that Eckler on the offense side of the ball, he was missed. Well, you could say that. But you also traded your other guy.
That's what I said. I said that too.
It would be very interesting in a game like this. My notes here. Okay. Be a good thing that if you kept Brian Robinson and had JCM, what that could have been. Because even at that point, if Eckler was gone, you still had a combination of that with JCM and Robinson. Would have been the physical side of. He would have been physical.
Yeah.
And then JCM would have been the slash. And then you have McNichols on the back end being the breakaway guy.
Yeah.
But even at that point, you could at least orchestrate something there. I just think there was some mismanagement with your team after halftime.
Yeah.
And that really hurt y'all. But overall, I thought there was a common game plan that they were really writing off the Washington team in this game, where I was just like, hold on now. Because, yeah, they want to crown the Chiefs just like that, but you get hit with something you're not ready for. Quinn had these guys ready. It was just inexcusable what took place in the second half.
Yeah, look, changing the scheme when the scheme was working does not make sense to me. That's the thing. Like, Joe Wick, what are we doing, dude? So, anyway, seeing the young guys is good, though. Mal, any thoughts?
Yeah, so in the end, turnovers suck. They change the momentum of the game. But in the end, you did have them until the halftime. I agree with Earl. I was thinking about it and like watching it. I'm like, oh, the Commanders really could win this. They came out to play tonight.
You had a legitimate shot because they intensified stuff going into this game.
Yeah, things just fell apart in that second half. I think that Mariota's, and I want to say Mariota's a pretty good backup. Pretty serviceable.
He's a solid backup, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think that any game that he plays, I'm like, oh, the Commanders are going to instantly lose. It's not like a Jake Browning situation or anything. But in the end, secondary was a little sus in the second half. However, also take into account how injured your team is.
Yeah. Yeah. We are beat up.
Yeah, that really, really takes a toll. So I know that I'm praying for my bye week at some point because my guys are banged up too. We just need a break.
My team's on the way after Monday night.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so I mean, look, am I crashing out like the previous week? No, but
right.
there is no moral victories, but there are positive takeaways to take from this game.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we'll stay with that, but let's go ahead and move on, guys.
Okay, so let's talk about some NFL news for the week. So unfortunately, longtime Jets center Nick Mangold passed away from kidney disease. And in light of that, the Jets won their first game against Cincinnati, which is awesome. Nick Mangold was a staple for them for a long time. Great guy. He actually, a few days before he passed away, publicly posted on social media to see if anyone would be kind enough to donate a kidney to him. So he must have been in pretty rough shape. So rest in peace. Thinking of the whole Jets organization and his family. So really tough loss there.
And just side note here, the other thing that we obviously want to support them, and no New Jersey Jets joke right now. No, this is serious. But the other thing, and we don't have it on here that I want to talk about, and it indirectly affects the NFL, is sports betting. It's been a big scandal.
Yeah,
It's been a big scandal in the NBA. You guys know that I cover the NBA too for 2 podcasts. I'm glad that I have not heard any sports betting scandals in the NFL. But any thoughts about how it could possibly leak in, and if so, what could be the consequences if it does?
Well, I mean, it already has in some way, shape, or form, and players have been suspended for it, and I think that's going to keep being the way that it is. If you want to go against the rules like that and you really need to bet, you're going to not play. You're going to be suspended. Face fines is what it is. These guys got to be held accountable because there's already too much going on between officiating, between the way teams lose games, between the way things happen, that people already speculate that players have been betting, or coaches or referees, whatever it is. In some way, shape, or form, behind closed doors, we can't be blind to it. It probably is happening in some way, shape, or form. It's just a matter of who gets called out on it first.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's been some players already been suspended for that, 4 games, 6 games over it. Now, as Mal put across on it, if you really want to be about that, the league isn't for you. But don't put your team at a bad state that your availability is hit from that over betting.
Yeah.
Like NFL, be smart.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, let's go ahead and switch over to who's that football player with it, JT.
Alrighty. Okay. It's time for who's that football player? Sunbirds. This player played with the Philadelphia Eagles back in the 1999 season. This player had 7 interceptions for 92 yards. Long was 35 yards. 19 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, 2 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, 81 total tackles, 65 of them were solo. This player's career awards: 5-time Pro Bowler, 1-time All-Pro First Team, 1-time All-Pro Second Team, 1-time Walter Payton Man of the Year award, and All-Rookie Team. Mal, as well as myself, who's that football player? I think we know.
Troy Vincent.
There you go.
Yeah, it is Troy Vincent. Okay, good job, guys.
Yay.
All right, Mal, we got one Eagles poll question.
Okay. Let me just pull it up real quick. Please hold. Your call is important to us. Okay.
I was going to delete out the dead space, but now I'm not going to.
Okay, so, well, it's funny because like I don't work in a call center, but some of my colleagues do, and that's what they say every time I call them. So now the hold is over. Poll question: is Jahan Dotson finally becoming a legit wide receiver 3 for the Eagles? Yes or no? Everyone answered yes.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, it's fair.
All right, guys. Now we
Trivia?
got trivia. Yes. So, which Super Bowl era Washington Redskins / Commanders player has made one All-Pro team but was never named a Pro Bowler?
Oh, are you good over there?
Yeah, something fell on my desk. I'm
One
sorry.
All-Pro, but never a Pro Bowl.
Yes.
I don't know this one. Earl, go ahead.
Yes, Earl.
Yeah. Russ Grimm.
Hang on, let me double check this.
Was Terry McLaurin a Pro Bowler?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you are wrong, Earl.
Really?
Oh my God.
Really?
I'm
I
gagged.
stumped him.
Hey,
So,
you win them, you lose them.
Hey, you win some, you lose some.
So is actually Barry Wilburn.
Barry Wilburn? What
Yeah.
year?
87.
Oh, he was around there with the Hogs. Wait,
Yeah.
what did Russ Grimm? Was he a Pro Bowler or he was an All Pro?
According to this, Russ Grimm, hang on, let me find it here because I'm going by. Russ Grimm was a 3-time All Pro and a 3-time Pro Bowler. No, 4-time Pro Bowler.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Now it did say, and I had to double check it because it also said John Riggins was never a Pro Bowler. I'm like, hang on. And that's not the case. But Barry Wilburn made All Pro without making the Pro Bowl up. So,
okay,
yeah,
cool trivia.
Yeah. So, yes, we got it. I finally did it. Woo! We are the champions.
It's crazy. He's got to look these up to try to go through. Now, question: before you pulled up the trivia, did you know this already?
No, but I had no.
He had no idea.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have a trivia question, just real quick.
Okay.
What's going to be Lucas's Halloween costume this year?
Ooh.
Go ahead. What do you got?
Major Tutty.
How did you know that? See, he knows them all.
I hate you guys so much. No, if you saw my Facebook, you know exactly.
I'm so glad you got that, Earl. I'm so glad you got that.
If you saw my Facebook, you actually know that I am matching my daughter, and we are going to be skeletons.
And that is adorable.
True.
I saw
it. It is cute.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Anyway, on that,
your hair is catching up to hers.
No, kid, no, but like for real. Anyway, that being said, let's go ahead and wrap things up, guys.
Yeah, so we want to thank you guys for listening to 14 Rings, an NFC East podcast. Make sure you follow us on all of our socials, X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Threads. Make sure you subscribe to us on our YouTube channel at 14 Rings, an NFC East podcast. We post our weekly previews for our teams there, and those are YouTube exclusive, so make sure you give those a look. And make sure that you also subscribe to us on all platforms, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Music. And you guys have a great night. Bye, y'all.
Raise hail.
DC for life. Blessings. Much love. Hope you feel better, Maurice.
Yeah, feel better.
Miss you, Maurice.
Better, bro.